Welcome back to Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. This one is entitled, Pictures Are Not a Unit of Measurement. So what does that mean? Well, this harks back from my early days at Tiny Middle. There's actually, maybe we could roll a second Old War story, which is real quick into this. We had an area that had all sorts of memory cards. Nowadays, the de facto standard is the SD or micro SD card, TF card, as China calls it. But back in the early days, this was in 2003, 4, 5, somewhere in there. There was compact flash, there was smart media, there was SD, there was XD, there was Sony memory stick, and a bunch of others. So I had this old couple come in, and they said, we have a GPS, and it needs a memory card. Okay, what kind of memory card does it take? A memory card. Sir, ma'am, over here are the memory cards. As you can see, there's an entire gallimaufry of different cards. They look back at me with a very puzzled look, because they don't know what gallimaufry means. So this was the second Old War story rolled into one. I used to go to dictionary.com every day and look at the word of the day, because it's usually a very obscure word that people don't know. And because of that, I would make sure to use that word during the day as much as possible. I wouldn't overuse the word, but if the opportunity came along, I would definitely take it. Gallimaufry is a hodgepodge, a random collection. So because there were 6, 7, 8 different types of cards, well, that would be a gallimaufry. They may be organized, but even so. Okay, what kind of GPS? Well, it's a Garmin. Oh, so a Dell Dementia. I gotcha. Okay, do you know the model number? Well, I have it out in the car. Well, here we go again. So now he brings the GPS in. I said, okay, where does the memory card go? He says, in here. So I open up the slot. I said, okay, that takes a compact flash card. He says, I have a 128 meg card now. I want to get a 256. Or no, I'm sorry. He says, I have a 128 meg card now. And yes, it was megabytes back in those days. 128 megabyte compact flash card. Not gigabytes, but megabytes. I have a 128. I said, well, what do you want? Do you want a 256 or a 512? He said, how much more does the 256 hold than the 128? I said, sir, it's a matter of simple mathematics. Okay? If a 128 holds X amount, a 256 will hold 2 times X, or twice the amount. And the guy said, I don't need a snot-nosed answer from you. I'm a Kyle. Where's the manager? Are you serious? I said, sir, I'm just explaining to you. I don't know how many your 128 meg card holds. And in the case of digital cameras, we'd be talking about pictures. Well, how many more pictures can I store on a 256? Pictures are not a unit of measurement. What do you mean? The camera says I can take 156 photos with the card I have. I said, it's not 156. Have you ever taken 156 photos? No, I've never filled the card. I said, so you don't know. Okay, it says 156 because it's going based on an average. Okay, if you take a picture of a nice meadow in the springtime with flowers and cows and things like that, that's going to take up a certain amount of space on the card. Not one picture, but a certain amount of space on a card. Now you take a picture at night, and most of the picture is black. You tried to take a picture of a card, but all you ended up with was two bright headlights. So you got two white spots in this entire black thing. Well, as far as the picture is concerned, there's this whole area of black, so we'll just call it that. And we don't have to store information for this dot, this dot, this dot, pixel, pixel, pixel. We don't have to store information for that, which is what a JPEG would do with its compression. In the areas around where it gets lighter, okay, now we got stuff, we got to plot out these pixels here, and now the white areas, we know these two areas are just pure fucking white. So we can put all those dots in all of these places and not have to store the data pixel by pixel by pixel like a bitmap image would do. And if you've ever looked at the pictures that you've taken, yeah, fine, on your phone, after you transfer them to the computer and seen the file sizes, have you noticed that every single picture has a different file size from the next? Yes, that's because every picture is different. So the 156 that your camera said is not 156. You might get 165. You might get 215. You might only get 112. It all depends, and it's going to adjust that number as it goes by, because when you see 156, it's not like the back in the days of the Kodak Instamatic where you get fucking 24 exposures and you had 24 and that was it. That was because that was the actual exposure areas on the film, and you had 24 of them, and those are all the shots you had. You start out with 156. As you're taking pictures, you snap 35 of them already, and it says that you have 142 pictures remaining. Well, that's a lot more than 35 less, isn't it? So pictures are not a unit of measurement. And I had to explain this to people all the time, but getting back to the guy with the snot-nosed answer business, he wanted to see the manager. So I said, all right, great. I know I didn't do anything wrong, so I will get you the manager. I didn't say I know I did nothing wrong. I said, I'll get the manager for you. So I went into the office, and fortunately there was Jerry. Jerry was the cool manager, as explained in another old war story I previously told. Anyway, I said, Jerry, I got these old people. They're being a pain in the ass. They said that they have a 128 meg card, and I said, what do you want, like a 256 or a 512? And they said, well, how much more does a 256 hold than a 128? I said, it's twice the amount. And they're just being a pain in the ass. So Jerry came out and talked to them, and I don't think they ended up buying a card because, oh, they have bad service there. I didn't do anything wrong. You're a fucking stunad, is what the problem was. Oh, Chitaliano, oregano. The problem was they just didn't get it. They just didn't get it. I said, listen, it could be inches, okay? If this is 6 inches and this is 12 inches, how much bigger is it? 6 inches. What if it were something else? Like dollars? Well, it's still 6. I said, because those are units of measurement. It's very simple. You can't take an abstract idea like a picture or an MP3 file, a music file, or a video, or anything like that, and get a number. You can only come up with an average, a guess, a best guess if you're lucky. I'm recording now. How much am I going to fit on this card? Till the camera says it's out of memory. I don't know. I have no idea how big this file is going to be. By the end of it, it is what it is. I process it and post it to YouTube. Every video clip is different from the next. If I took the same exact video of the same thing for exactly the same duration, it would not be the same file size. It would be slightly different because the camera never sees everything exactly the same, or something else in the environment changed. It's not going to be identical. Even if you had a still camera on a tripod and you take a picture and you take another picture, even if you had it in that continuous drive mode where it takes multiples one after the next, they're going to be close but never the same. And depending on the block size on the memory card, well, that may just bump you up to the next megabyte, and as such, you now don't have the room. Just the way the world works. Sorry. If you're going to be stupid about it, it doesn't make it my problem. As my shirt says, I used to be a people person, then people ruined it. Thanks so much for watching this installment of Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.